Moriturite salutant. That's the old Roman saying for warriors that were about to die or at least expecting it. As you might guess, today's topic deals with death and a particular death that was reached by suicide. Linkin Park, while not exactly a metal band, not anyway at least, is one of the most influential bands of this millennium. And well, they have a huge fan base. They have sold a lot of albums and made great success. So you might wonder why I'm even talking about this particular case. First of all, it's obvious that uh, it's an event that touched many individuals around the globe, and death by suicide or otherwise is never a thing to how to put it, thing to not to miss. It's always touching matter whether you like the band or not. As always, I have not planned this speech beforehand, so I'm just like giving you random thoughts and opinions about death, suicide, music industry, fans, and losing a person that you feel is close to you, whether it's true or not. But first of all, Linkin Park. Uh, they have been a major name in the industry for past many past years. So they have a lot of fans, and losing an artist, vocalist in this case, of a band that has so huge fan base is obviously thing that is not missed in the newspapers and web news and whatnot. Obviously, this has made an impact on social media. Many of you who use Facebook or follow Twitter have obviously, most likely, faced a news or update, a meme, or at least something related to Chester Bennington, who died a couple of days ago, at least a couple of days ago when this video was made. So there are a lot of opinions how this was a super sad thing. There are comments from haters who just like enjoy when other people are feeling pain or taking this suicide personally or otherwise. I've actually seen some updates that were just kind of commenting, not as much as complaining, about how Chester Bennington's death just filled the Facebook page with comments of his death, whether were like comments being sorry about this death or losing a great artist and linking a song to it, or then just being mean memes or just nihilistic comments about like who gives a shit, it's another person, everybody dies at some point, we lose lives like every second and new ones are born and blah blah blah. Well, as I mentioned earlier, death is a touchy topic. No matter who you are, no matter what have you done, and so forth. But obviously, it makes a huge difference when you're somebody. Like Wasp sang on their first album, "I Wanna Be Somebody." When you are somebody, not just anybody, you make an impact in people's lives. And if you are one of those who just couldn't give a rat's ass about this somebody, then it's likely that you just don't care if this somebody dies. Or if you're a mean-spirited individual, then you probably even take joy out of it. Like, ha ha, you motherfuckers suffered that your favorite artist died because all the music that he made was bullshit. Or something in that sense. And if you're a sensitive individual, who happens to be a fan of this somebody. Maybe you're sad, maybe you're crying, maybe you feel like your whole life has lost its meaning because this individual, this somebody, is now gone and not with us anymore in any form. And then there are those who are just empathic, feeling other people's pain and suffering, and try to say how sorry they are, even though they are not themselves like feeling any deep emotions or getting this or that out of this particular death. But whatever it is, it's clear that when this kind of somebody dies, and doesn't matter which way, it's gonna make an impact. It's gonna make waves, and it's up to you as an individual how you react to those waves. Personally, I think suicide is a very interesting way to leave this planet, live your life. Why? Well, first of all, because somebody is going to ask, like, you never have lost anybody because you can talk like that, or you're a nihilistic motherfucker because you don't care, or you're insensitive prick, or whatever. Well, I've lost a few friends through suicide. Not very close friends, I must admit, but friends nevertheless. And to me, it's not so much about sadness or anything that sort. To me, it's not either about being self-centered or anything like that. I mean, like, we're all selfish in a way. No matter what we do it because we want to do stuff that are important to us. If we decide to die through our own hands, well, it's a selfish way to live. But then again, what isn't? I mean, whether you love, whether you hate, whether you work for somebody, or, I don't know, sell your ass, you are here to gain something. You're going to do something because it is meaningful to you. Sometimes things go to extreme. Chester Bennington was known to have suffered from addiction, depression, and child abuse from his childhood, and lots of problems, I guess. You add that to a life of fame, which kind of creates pressure. You have family life. He was survived by 6 kids and wife. There's lots of stuff to handle. Nobody, I think, really knows how he felt before his death. I mean, like days, weeks, even years. I'm sure that many of his closest persons, like friends or family and band members, they probably had an idea what was going on. I bet even some of the fans feel like they knew through lyrics and interviews and concerts that they had something, going on with this kind of a special bond. They could, like figure it out in the brain, like, I know this band, I've always listened to it, I've been reading the lyrics, I've been singing the songs, I've been to his concerts, and so forth. But the truth is, nobody else knows what's going on in your head, in my head. Sometimes I feel even I don't know what the fuck is going in my brain. I'm not talking about deep emotions, but just everyday stuff. Sometimes I feel depressed, and I'm never depressed. But sometimes I feel things are, putting me down, and I'm wondering how I should react to them. I'm not using myself as an example of being somebody, because I'm not, but to say it out loud, nobody can totally understand any other people. It's just impossible. When you're somebody who has a lot of impact on life and other people's through your art or entertainment or whatever you want to call it, it's clear that you have a sort of responsibility. Then you have your family, you have your friends, you have your own life, personal issues, and whatever. So all these combined means that a person can have a huge load of stress, even too much to handle. When you add these to addiction, depression, and all kind of mind fucks we have in life, and that might be too heavy a load to be carried by one person. Some of us are able to, handle our problems, be it addictions or whatever, and like letting things out, whether it's writing, painting, painting, or doing a song, writing a poem, or just, I don't know, lifting weights, punching a bag, or just get something done. But it's not so easy, obviously, if you are a mess. I mean, a huge mess in your head. And there's nobody that can, like, give you accurate, I don't know, guidelines, opinions, or ideas that you should do, which will work and which don't. And all this big mess just might be too much for somebody to handle. And then it might not even matter if you're somebody or not, because we're all individuals and we have all our own personal issues and personal backgrounds and whatever. So what I'm trying to say here is that nobody can fully understand what was going in his mind. Now the creepy thing is that Bennington committed his suicide on the birthday of Chris Cornell, who just a few months ago committed a suicide by hanging himself, which is kind of, like I said, it's creepy. Now you might want to think, why hanging? Why the same way of letting yourself go? Well, there are many reasons, and one might think there are some kind of reasons which are connected to each other, like like how you want to end up your life and whatever. But that might be just coincidence, or that might be just because, well, he did it and it worked for him. Maybe it will work for me. But then again, hanging is also one of the most famous ways to just let yourself go. I guess it's relatively easy if you consider that it's not a huge amount of pain usually, and it's a kind of a classic. But to say that suicide is selfish when you have kids, and you have family, you have a band, and you have other friends, well, it's kind of a selfish way to say that you shouldn't do it. But it's kind of also a tragedy to lose somebody who is like 41, younger than me actually, or about the same age anyway. But you have your whole life ahead and you still just want to exit. You need to, like, leave the planet, live the life, even though everything seems to be going on like well. You have nice family, you have lots of friends, you have lots of fans, you have lots of money. But does it really matter if this life is too much for you to handle? So before you start sending hate mail or sending me bursty crying pictures or whatever, just consider yourself. Are you in charge of your life, or is somebody else in charge of your life? And if you have problems, what are you gonna do about them? Are you just let them going to take over you, or are you gonna solve them? Because these kind of questions are the ones that everybody is facing. Some go to extreme ends, and because it's easy, in a way, anyway. I mean, I've been thinking myself many times about death. And it's also one of those mysteries that so often end up in lyrics in many bands. Death and love, basically. Death is, how we know it's permanent, but it's also kind of like exit the game. If you don't like a round of Monopoly, the board game, you just quit playing. Nobody's forcing you to do anything. If somebody pisses you off, or if you feel like your work is full of shit and your life is meaningless, I'm not saying you should do that, obviously. Why the fuck not? Because there's so many options, there's so many solutions how you can fix your shit. But some people feel it's a good way to go. Like those friends that I've lost because of suicide. Some of them, I guess, weren't just ready to, face the problems again. Maybe they had too much mental issues or drug issues or booze issues or just all kind of issues, too much mess in their lives, depression. I don't know. It's hard to say. Somebody might seem like total normal, like guy or girl who seems to be doing fine, but inside there's a clock ticking, and the time is running out for them, and they probably know it, or then they just like decided today I'm gonna kill myself and do it. And there's no easy way to, like solve this kind of puzzle. And my point is, if there is any, in the end, all we have is this life. And in the end, someone is going to benefit out of this death as well. So the cynical outcome is that the band is gonna be even more a legend. Right now, you might remember what happened to Nirvana when Kurt Cobain passed away. And Soundgarden probably got a boost with Cornell's death. So there will be tours, there will be reissued albums, probably some cover songs or all kind of stuff that will happen after Mr. Bennington's death. Someone will cash out this death as well. That is another tragedy, if you consider that to be a sort of tragedy, that somebody is making money out of someone else's death. But in the end, our life continues, like Freddie Mercury of Queen, who died of AIDS, said it, the show must go on. Show will go on, with or without Linkin Park, with or without Chester Bennington. So, all good to you. If you don't like life, you know what to do, but I don't recommend it. Keep living, keep finding solutions, and get your shit done. Until our next video, leave your comments here or our Facebook page. Take care of yourself.